Okay, what's going on, everybody? Joseph coming your way. This is, I want to say stupid bowling opinions, but not really. But I don't know, it's just kind of a thing, just another bowling related series. So, here's what I like, here's why I really like watching bowling stuff on YouTube. It's because I will come across a comment that just inspires me to just create. And so I'm watching, I'm going to give a shout out here to, couple shout outs during this video actually. Gonna give a shout out to Prodigy Bowlers Tour, Brownswick Bowling, from Coach Randy Brown. He's a silver level coach, and he's been doing shows where he features youth bowlers that he works with, well that anyone that he works with that he's encountered, and he creates tournaments for them. Like usually, like back in the day when he first made the channel, like 7 some years ago, it was like just after league at his local house. But it grew and grew and grew to a cool brand. And I'm watching one of his shows. And so shout out to Coach Randy and that production is just fantastic. I don't know how he does that all by himself. It's crazy. But yeah, so I'm watching one of his last tournaments, which features some awesome bowlers, by the way. There's this 18-year-old girl who, her highest set before the tournament was 650, and then she shot an 800, like, during the tournament to qualify for the during the first set of 3 games, and then the second set she shot another 670 or something like that. So she skipped 7 and went straight to 8. That's pretty damn awesome. But anyways, I'm in the comments, just swimming around in the comments, and I see someone saying, hey, what's the difference between a great league bowler and a PBA pro? And I'm like, well, I mean, fuck me. I have, like, a goal to win a PBA regional championship, and when I get to the part of this series where I will talk about my goals, I'll talk about my experiences being on PBA regional tournaments. And I'm like, all right, well, if I have these kind of goals, I think I'd like to explore this difference for myself as well, and kind of break that down and kind of talk about it. This way I just educate myself and educate others. So that's what this series is going to be about. It's going to be not really opinions. It is opinionated. That's why it's still called Stupid Bowling Opinions. But I'm going to explore this difference in 2 parts, and then the last part of the video is going to be announcing my goals. I'm going to really go into detail about what my goals in bowling are going to be in terms of performance at PBA regional tournaments, honors, scores, my future as a coach. That's what I want to do eventually, and stuff like that. So let's go. Oh, wait, uh-oh. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Stop virtual camera. Hang on. Aha! There we go. Okay. Oh, well, alright. It has them all at once. Never mind. I had this slideshow going, I guess. I'll just go ahead and click instead. If you hear my neighbor's dogs, sorry. My neighbors in this apartment complex got dogs. Like, everyone who I live around has dogs, and they don't really take care of them, so it's kind of weak. But it is what it is. Anyways. So the agenda is going to be a 3-part series, okay? Part 1 is going to be the first video about transitioning from league bowler to tour bowler, and that concerns handicap or skill, and 2 major points I'm going to talk about is advantage bowling. You saw my other presentation on advantage bowling, which is where you average 200 to 210, even though you know you can average way higher, but just in case, but in the interest of having handicap, you don't go any higher than 210. Where do they fit in? And can PBA pros on tour be advantage bowlers? You're going to get a shocking answer to that question. And a lot of people are going to probably disagree, but I don't care. Okay. And the part 2 of in the second video, I'm going to talk about how fundamentals are not enough if you want to be a PBA pro. They're enough if you want to have the highest average in your league. They're enough if you want to do really good in house shots. And guess what? They're enough if you want to be an advantage bowler. All you really need to be an advantage bowler is some solid fundamentals that yield a 205 to 210 average. And then if you want to bowl the occasional PBA regional, if the PBA is in town and you don't want to travel or travel very minimally, that's what I did in 2020 when I bowled my only two regional tournaments, that kind of stuff. But those solid fundamentals are not enough if you want to be a PBA professional. They are important. They're incredibly important. But anyone on tour, and I've met dozens of bowlers who are on tour currently, or over the last 10 some years, 15 years, they go beyond fundamentals, okay? And we need to understand that when it comes to being a tour bowler, to be at that elite level. Because if you don't understand that you have to go beyond your fundamentals, it's similar to playing a video game casually versus speedrunning. If you just play a video game as fast as you can, you will not be able to. Let's say I just play Zelda 2 as fast as I possibly can. Don't have a route in mind. Don't have skips in mind. Don't have a level agenda for when I finish up the palaces and stuff. It's gonna take me about 3 or so hours to beat Zelda 2 if I just do it as fast as possible. Versus if you have a route, if you have, okay, I need to get level 4 before Palace 1 finishes, that kind of stuff. Now you have speedrun strats. It's very similar when going from house bowler to PBA Pro. The fundamentals will take you very far in this sport. They really do. But they will not get you. They will not have you be a winning tour player. Absolutely not. No. If you're missing certain fundamentals, you will be sunk as well if you just have the advanced strategies. For example, let's go with blackjack. So let's say you don't know all of basic strategy in blackjack, but you know about index strategy. So you know that if the true count is 6 or I think like 4 better, that you can hit a 12 against the dealer's 4 through 6, right? But you don't know that a pair of I think like a pair of 4s splits against a 6 only or something like that. I think that's how it is in advanced play in basic strategy blackjack. Even I don't know it all with that, so I can't call myself an advanced player in blackjack because I don't know all. I don't know basics. I don't know all of basic strategy. I certainly don't know all of index strategy. Only thing I know is high-low count and when to wong in, when to wong out. You know what I mean? So bowling's the same way. Just like with poker, like with gaming and with blackjack, it's the exact same. It's with tennis and golf. There's fundamentals, and then there's going beyond fundamentals. That's going to be a very long video. That will probably be the longest video in this series for sure. And then part 3, the third video, is going to be about my goals in bowling. What I want to get out. What I want to get out of the sport before I retire from it. And by retire, I mean just bowl casually, not worry about having the best equipment. Just have 2 reactive balls and a spare ball, and go to league every week and just chill and be a coach for older bowlers. That's going to be my niche. That's going to be my niche, is to coach bowlers up who are over 50 and have them either try to go for the PBA 50 tour or just increase their average or reduce injury, because I have hip problems right now that I've run into over the last 5 some years. I've been really feeling it in my hip. So if I run in, let's say I'm 50 years old myself, it's gonna be 10 years. I'm gonna be 50 years old in 10 years. That's goddamn crazy. I don't even feel like I'm 40, man. So say I'm 50 years old and I'm coaching someone else who's 50, right? And they're like, man, like my hip is just bothering me. I can be like, yeah, okay, well, how's that affecting your bowling? And here's what you can do about your hit. That kind of stuff. And just a little rundown of what I expect to do in the next 5 years by 2028, by the time I turn 45. So I have until June 29th to do this. Is win my first regional title by 2028. I would like to cash in a regional title by 2025. So sometime during the 2024-25 season, I expect to cash in my first regional event. I was extremely close in 2020. Well, not extremely close. Relatively close. I'll talk about that when I get to this video. When I get to that particular video. And 25 to 50 honor scores by 2028. So 25 to 50 perfect games, 11 in a rows, 800 sets, clean sweeps, even Dutch 200, that kind of stuff, to give me receipts for being a coach. Because in my opinion, that's going to be a really crazy, stupid bowling opinions video, is a lot of these coaches are frauds. They're good people, but they're frauds. Why? They don't have any receipts, I'll drop another name, Rebecca Colby. She goes by Rebecca Bowles on this channel. She's a really cool woman. There's very few bowling YouTubers who I could actually sit and have a drink with and bowl with them. Rebecca's one of them. I would straight up chill with her, and we wouldn't even talk about, but we'd probably flirt the entire time. You know what I mean? I think she's my age. I think she bowled in college. And she's a bronze level coach. And I mentioned it on her channel. I'm like, well, what's your average? She's like, oh, I think it's 185 or something, 188. I'm like, well, I mean, you can be a level 1 coach and have that average, but a bronze? That doesn't really click with me. You know what I mean? But she's a really good person. Her videos, her content's actually pretty cool too. But I, in my opinion, don't think she can be a bronze level coach. Level 1, absolutely. But that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? And it's my stupid opinion because I'm just some dude. Anyways. So after I cash in a PBA regional, I will get bronze level coach, USBC. Right now I can just pretty much give USBC whatever they want for the testing to be a level 1 coach and do it. I could do that tomorrow if I wanted, but I'm not going to do that. I'm probably going to do that I'll do that whenever I need to. But after I cash in a PBA regional, I'm definitely going to go for this the bronze level coach. And after I win my first PBA regional title, I want to be a silver level coach, so I can possibly coach high school, college, and other teams like that. Gold level, I might need to win on the national tour for that, and that is that's a pipe dream. I'm not gonna lie. Regional, local PBA stuff, I could probably win, but national stuff on TV and shit, no, I'm good on that. I am good on that. No, but that's what I'm saying. I want to have at least one regional title win, preferably 3. But as soon as I win my first PBA regional title, I'm going to be a coach. So, yeah. Anyways, okay, now that that's out of the way, the intro is out of the way, let us talk about the first thing that needs to be understood when it comes to the transition between house shot, a good league bowler, and a PBA pro who's on tour, who travels and bowls in tournaments and does what all the cool YouTubers we follow on this platform do. The Brad and Kyles, the J.R. Raymonds, the Darren Tangs. At one point or another, all 3 of those individuals, I look at Brad and Kyle as a pair, so all 4 of them, I guess, if we want to be real technical about it, all 4 of them, all 3/4 of them, whatever you want to talk about, has had this debate, has had to reflect on this. And they'd say, okay, now, I have the ability to go to tournaments on tour and win them. But it might be at the expense of my handicap because I might have to increase my average because I might have to have a different skill set, whatever, that kind of stuff. You know, am I going to focus on handicap or skill? Okay, now, can you focus on both? Absolutely. Just like in college, do you want to focus on studying or partying? Well, why don't you do a little bit of both? That's the problem. You're going to be doing a little bit of both. Okay? League bowlers, they predominantly think about handicap. Okay? Now, I'm not talking about advanced bowlers. We're going to talk about advanced bowlers in the next slide. But as a general rule of thumb, or just generally, if someone bowls in league and they have no interest in bowling on tour, they won't think about advanced skills that they want, or different balls that have different layouts, or the same balls that have different layouts, and carrying 2 bags of those into the U.S. Open because you're going to need that. And it's funny, I met what's his name, Jacob Buttriff, at a pro-am. It was at Oakfield Lanes, which is where Tom Doherty bowls at. I met him too. But so Buttriff, he brought in 3 bags, three ball bags of purple hammers. Yeah, he brought in 9 purple hammers. All of them, some of them the same layout, but some of them different layout too. And he wasn't getting any looks or nothing like that because that was his thing. Like, when you have in that kind of advanced knowledge, league bowlers don't care about that. They care about how many sticks they're going to get, okay? Because they know they can't just on command shoot 259 plus, What did I say in my advanced bowling video? You saw me go over all the stats that are necessary for a 250 game. You need to average 9. If you want to average 250, that's 9 strikes a game. Can a house bowler do that? No. Can a house bowler averages 200 do that? Maybe. Can a house bowler who averages 220 do that? Probably. Can someone, and so on and so on and so on. So that's the emphasis. PBA pros, they emphasize skill and advanced qualities, and advanced I'm thinking of the word. Advanced skills. Yeah, skills. Advanced skills. They value that more than handicap. They don't care if they only get like 8 pins a game, and their average is like 230. Oh, and if they're bowling in a league that has 90% of 240, which is extremely rare, but it shouldn't be rare. They don't care about that because they bowl in league just to have an average so that they can bowl in PBA stuff next year. So instead, what they do is they focus on the advanced stuff. They go out, and instead of getting in brackets in league, instead of dropping, say your league has like 40 teams, right? So you could probably drop $100 on brackets in that league, in such a league, and probably come out with about 250 if you bowl real well, or even if you bowl okay, if you bowl your average, you could probably get away with that. The PBA pros don't really do that. They spend that kind of money on equipment. They spend spend that kind of money on upgrading their drilling machines. They spend that kind of money on upgrading the ball spinner they have at their house or apartment. They spend it on surface pads that they need on tour. They spend it on other stuff that they need to bowl on tour. So that's what the advanced skill is going to be. It's going to be a lot of underground stuff I'm going to be talking about in that second video. That second video is going to be extremely long, like at least an hour. So, and if you want to do what I'm going to want, or what I want to do in the next 5 years, you will need to take notes on that because I'm going to be bringing it in that next video. Okay. And that's the question that you have to ask yourself. If you want to go on tour, you have to ask yourself, which one's going to be more important to you going forward? Are you willing to sacrifice the money that you would spend on $100 in brackets, so you can walk away with $200 after league, or 300, $400, whatever, and instead use that money to buy a new ball spinner, or some new surface pads, or some tape, or a whole bunch of tape, or a whole bunch of grips, or some new drill bits that have been worn out because you need to drill a new ball for the regional tournament that's next weekend. That kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Now, here's a case study. Okay, here's somebody who he knows that he can go on tour, but he prefers not to. He would rather bowl and scratch and handicap events. He said this in comments on his ball review videos. That is Jason Eubanks from Hit It Harder. There's my other shout out. Hit It Harder's channel is amazing. Jason Eubanks has a really good tutorial for increasing rev rate. I've used it. I've watched it. I go back to it a lot. That and Athletic Bowling, those two have the best tutorials on increasing your rev rate without spinning it to win. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to spin the win. Not in bowling. No. I used to spin the win, and it sucks. So he knows he knows what the sacrifices that need to be made, and instead of making those sacrifices, what does he do? He wants to create a YouTube channel where he reviews bowling balls from the consumer's standpoint, right? So he spends money on new bowling balls, right? And he has a drilling machine. He drills his own stuff and everything like that. So it's like almost like a halfway in between being just a regular league bowler and being a PBA pro who's on tour. So that kind of stuff. So again, it's not a matter of removing one or the other. You can't just remove. Handicap is never going to be completely irrelevant in your bowling career. It's never. I mean, okay, like, let's see. Okay, let's say you only bowl scratch stuff, but you have to bowl in league. Well, you're still going to have to be cognizant of how much handicap you get in that league, so you can help your team out. If you get any handicap at all, but it's just going to be, a 2% kind of deal. You know what I mean? And if, let's say you just go to league just to bowl and drink, are you really going to care about bringing let's see, what's another popular urethane ball? Zen-U. You're not going to care about making sure that the 9 Zen-Us you bring to your next regional tournament have different layouts, or have 3 of them that have the same layout, because you know that once you throw a urethane ball, the surface is completely gone after one game. Is that really relevant to you if your average is 150 and you just go there to bowl and drink and maybe get in some brackets? No. You know what I mean? But PBA pros do bowl in handicap events. They do. I've encountered a whole bunch of them. But they bowl in more scratch ones than handicap ones. Decisively more of them. Maybe they'll go to a handicap event if they're in town and they want something to do. And to them, it's just like glorified practice. Because they're going to drop whatever money they need on practicing anyways. They may as well try to make some money doing it. You know what I mean? That kind of deal. One bowler who I know does this in the North Central Florida area is Christian Ascona. I see him a lot when I go to these handicap events in that area, because he's from Ocala. So if he's home and he wants to and if he's bored and wants to go bowl some stuff, he'll bowl some stuff. Will he take it serious? Of course he will, because everyone's going to take it serious. But he won't take it nearly as serious as the next national PBA event that he goes to, or a regional one, or anything like that. So that's the difference there. Okay, now, obvious sacrifices that bowlers on tour have to make. They're obvious. Okay, I shouldn't have said obvious there, but they're sacrifices. Okay, the first is travel. All right, if you're on tour, you're traveling. Are you traveling the league? No. The place I bowl at is 10 minutes away. Okay. If I want to bowl in no tap stuff, which I'm bowling at on Sunday, I'm gonna try and get some footage of that. I was gonna try and get some footage of my league, but it's just not. I can't do it. Like it would be really weird. It would look really weird. I might catch a little bit. We'll see. But no tap I might do on Sunday. Maybe. Don't know. But there's travel. When you're on tour, you need. Okay. Here's. Excuse me. Here's prelude to a stupid bowling opinion video. How many bowling balls do you need for league to average 200? You need 3 at most. That's all you need. Because it's house shot. So if you feed that ball the 5 board, watch it come back to the pocket almost every time. All I really need is a nice benchmark ball, my spare ball obviously, and maybe something I could ball down to. And that's it. And I have a medium low rev rate of like 325. You know what I mean? Which is it's gotten higher. It used to be just like 200 and some change. Now it's 300 and some change, right? So you will not get away with that when you're on tour. On tour, you need way more equipment. Like I said, I watched Jacob Buttriff drag in 9 purple hammers to a regional tournament. Okay? Yeah. And in league, especially if you just want to average your little 180 or 190, all you need is a spare ball for that. When I was in college, my first year bowling in college, which wasn't really my first year of college, it was like my 4th year of like 7 that I took in college. I'm laughing because if I don't laugh, I'll cry. I bowled with just a spare ball and averaged like 165. Just throwing the spare ball straight at everything. 165 average. So, that kind of stuff. If you're a league bowler, you only bowl 3 games a week. If you bowl on tour, you bowl about 100 times that. You bowl more games, higher volumes. One week, a weekend event, a weekend PBA event will be what? The regionals is what? 6 to 8. If it's one day, it's 6 games, then match play. If it's 2 days, it's 8 games on Saturday, match play on Sunday. So, holy shit, that's a lot of bowling. So, you need to stay in shape. You need better conditioning to prevent injuries and stuff. You don't need to think about that when you're a league bowler. You really don't. Even if you're bowling a whole bunch of leagues. One of my workout buddies, one of my gym buddies and bowling buddies who I lift heavy weights at the gym with, he bowls like 3 nights a week. Okay, so he bowls 9 games a week. Okay, that's cool. You're going to be doing that in a day when you're on tour. Okay? And these majors, they have you bowl 24, 36 games a day, something like, or over a weekend, that kind of stuff. Team USA Tour Trials is like, 8 games across like 4 weeks, or 32 games across 4 weeks, something like that. It's crazy, It's insane versus league bowling. So that's also something else. Here's another sacrifice or something that you have to do when you're on tour. You have to track the money in and money out when you're competing. It's way easier. Okay, let's say you're an advantage bowler, okay? And you have your little 205 average. But you don't really you go to PBA regional stuff when it's in town, okay? If it's like, all right, like let's say I'm in Tallahassee right now, right? So let's say I'm an advantage bowler, got 205 average. And they have a tournament over in Jacksonville, okay? That's an hour and a half. That's like 2 hours away. I can drive there, bowl, drive my happy ass back. If I make match play, great. I'll just drive my happy ass back from Tallahassee to Jacksonville. Nothing to it. That's easy, So I can track that kind of money in and out, whatever. And then, but let's say I'm like spending $100 on brackets and other side stuff at league. That stuff tracks itself. It's $5 a bracket, so it's easy, nothing to it. But when you're on tour, there's more stuff. You gotta track all the money you spend, expenses, any kind of expenses, food, gas, flights, that kind of stuff. Whenever you compete this way, all right, well, I'm out by this much, so now, I better make match play, or else I'm gonna lose, or else I just practiced, that kind of stuff. Which brings me to my next point. When you're on tour, you need to expect to win. You can't just be like, oh man, it'd be really cool if I won. No, you need to expect it. You need to be like, okay, it takes the cut number is this. It's the cut number is plus 125 probably. You have to project that, which I'll talk about in the second video. And the cut for match play is going to be probably plus 225 across 8, so I have to shoot 1825 or better. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get that 220 some average, that kind of stuff. You can't roll in if you're touring. If you're on tour, you can't just roll into this tournament and be like, okay, well, it'd be really cool if I cashed because it's just a fun experience. And here's a story. So my second ever PBA regional, I was Amleto Monticelli was a pair next to me, and I think he cashed, but he didn't go to match play. He was not happy. He stormed out of that building. He grabbed his money. He grabbed his little $400 that he made, or $500-600 that he made, and he left. And he was not in a good mood. He didn't want to meet anybody. He didn't want to take pictures with nobody. Nothing like that. Actually, I think I jumped him a couple times. He gave me a couple dirty looks, and I'm like, sorry, it's my second regional ever. I think I even said that to him. I said, like, perdón, senor. Second regional ever. My bad. And then he kind of shrugged it off because he was really serious about winning. That's what happens when you're on tour. Cashing is an L if you're on tour. Most of the time. Anyone who bowls on tour will tell you that. In fact, there are probably some videos about that on either Darren Tang's channel or Brad and Kyle's ones, So, yeah. And this last one's important, and it's going to segue to the next one. You might even need to sacrifice advantage bowling, because if you can't master the art of averaging 200 to 210, knowing that you can get higher and still bowl at the tour level, then you might have to be like, alright, well, let me not worry about any handicap shit at all, and go ahead and average my little 240 because I don't know how to balance things out. You know what I mean? Advantage bowling is an art, and but I need to get receipts in order to coach advantage bowling, because I really do want some of these pros, these touring pros, to be like, I want to say to them, yo man, hey man, you just need to average 205. That's all you gotta do. You can bowl handicap stuff, and you can bowl like you bowled the U.S. Open, dude, and you'll win more than in the U.S. Open because people will sponsor you for brackets if they know you're getting 36 pins of handicap, So you might need to sacrifice that. Okay, so final part of this video here. Can PBA pros still be advantage bowlers? Again, what's an advantage bowler? An advantage bowler is someone who only averages 200 to 210 in that little range, so they can get handicapped for handicap events, but they still travel and bowl PBA and scratch stuff. I'll tell you this right now. Here's the shocking answer. Very shocking answer. A lot of people think like, no man, you gotta average 240. I go like, no dude. If that average requirement is 200, stop at 205. So I think so. I think PBA pros can and should be advantage bowlers, because all that travel is going to mess you up, man. Like, why not just bowl local stuff and keep your average as low as you need to get it, and you'll be good. Once you roll into these handicap events, you can bowl it like you've bowled like you were bowling like you were bowling for the TV show, and you'll clean up. Oh, it's unethical. I don't think so. It's not cheating. You're following the rules. But here's the deal about that. And I have no interest in touring at all ever. Okay? I really don't. I would like to go maybe to a couple of national PBA stuff once I win my first regional. We'll see. And then see how good I do. Might suck. I probably will suck. Whatever. But doing this will require even more effort than just shooting your best all the time in league, right? Like I said, you're gonna need to be on a team that doesn't really care about winning. You're gonna need to know when to back off. You might have to bring some old bowling balls with you, so you may not be able to do the research you need on your current equipment to see if that works, to see if that has good motion for whatever you're about to bowl at, that kind of stuff. All that stuff like that. You'll also need to closely monitor average requirements because they might be, they might change. You might have one average requirement for one tournament, for one PBA tournament, could be completely different from another one. You know what I mean? Because they have kind of that free reign. And here's the $50,000 question: do those ends really justify the means? If you're on tour and you bowl handicap stuff, is it like, all right, well, can I make this kind of money in a handicap event that I could if I won this regional or anything like that, or this really cool, or this scratch sweeper that has like a big payout for first, like that's, you gotta ask yourself those tough questions because no one's gonna answer those questions for you because no one else is you. So yeah. Okay. That does it for part 1. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Part 2 is going to be the meat and potatoes. All right? It's going to be the meat, the steak, potatoes. We're going to put it all together into what, as much as I know, what you need to know to transition from good league bowler and what that entails. I'll give you a hint. It involves advantage bowling. A lot of this stuff revolves around advantage bowling. I want to make this a big concept. And touring professional. Okay? Because touring professionals follow a much different thing, and that's going to take some time for me to explain. I'm going to put that presentation together sometime in the week. I have no idea. I got a busy week ahead of me. I got a lot of work to do, and then I got streaming I'm gonna do. Twitch channel, Twitch TV/Joseph. Saturday night, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna prepare for returning to my no tap stuff, my no tap tournament by speedrunning Final Fantasy IX. That's gonna be fun. If you haven't watched my Twitch channel, I do speedrunning there. It's really fun. I try to make it real fun, but it is what it is. So yeah, all right. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to take place all day Saturday. I gotta get a new phone tomorrow, so I gotta spend most of the day, training that, for lack of a better word. And and then I don't know. The week ahead of me, I gotta really get some work done because I got some stuff I gotta pay for. I gotta put my nose to the grindstone, as they say. All right, I'm out. I'm rambling. I gotta stop. Thank you for watching. Take care.